Hey everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Philip.
And I'm Chloe. We're here to chat about our books and explore the stories that stay with us after we've turned the page.
From reviews to recommendations, we got you covered.
So grab a cozy spot and a fun drink and let's get reading. This is The Notable Readers. Welcome to our favorite segment, Drink of the Days. So, Philip, what's your drink of the day?
I have some cranberry grape juice.
And I have a Hawaiian shaved ice Alani because I'm sleepy.
I do that every time. Every time. I thought I'm not going to do that, and I literally did it again.
Oh.
When,
what, take a drink?
Every time. If you watch back every episode, you always ask me what mine is, and then I say what it is, and then you talk about yours, and I take a sip of mine. Every time.
So, as you guys can see, we have a brand new setup, and most importantly, Philip and I are actually together. So, we've decided for season 2, to revamp the whole podcast and just, make sure we're together for it as much as we can. Obviously, we're both students, so if something happens, we'll go on Zoom if we have to. But fingers crossed, we can always be on camera together. And then we're also going to be changing how we talk about books. We're still going to be talking about books, obviously, but we want to shed some light on the world.
And you said that right. So, thinking about, the topics that each book could present.
Yes.
So, if we're reading a book about, for example, the book we read in November, 107 Days, that would be focused on the political aspect of the world and take with the political sides and stuff like that, instead of versus just reading it just to read it and then give a review.
Yes, we're connecting it more to everyday life, and trying to make it more relatable for the readers, the viewers, everybody. That's why we're notable. We
finally live up to the name.
But I hope you guys enjoy. Let us know if you like the setup. Let us know if you want to get on the podcast. Everything will be linked in the bio.
Okay.
So now we're going to be talking about our current reads. Philip, you can go ahead and start with yours.
I'm currently reading the Catching Fire book, which is the second book of the Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. For the summary, sparks are igniting, flames are spreading, and the capital wants revenge. Against all odds, Katniss has won the Hunger Games. She and fellow District 12 tribute Peeta Mellark are miraculously still alive. Katniss should be relieved happy even. After all, she has returned to her family and her longtime friend Gale. Yet nothing is the way Katniss wishes it to be. Gale holds her at an icy distance. Peeta has turned his back on her completely. And there are whispers of a rebellion against the capital, a rebellion that Katniss and Peeta may have helped create. Much to her shock, Katniss has fueled an unrest she's afraid she cannot stop. And what scares her even more is that she's not entirely convinced she should try. As time draws near for Katniss and Peeta to visit the districts on the capital's cruel victory tour, the stakes are higher than ever. If they can't prove without a shadow of doubt that they are lost in their love for each other, the consequences will be horrifying. In Catching Fire, the second novel of the Hunger Games trilogy, which is now not a trilogy anymore, Suzanne Collins continues the story of Katniss Everdeen, testing her more than ever before and surprising readers at every turn. So I'm currently reading. So I got the Hunger Games series for Christmas, all 5 books, and I'm doing a YouTube video where I read everyone and then I rank them or something. But this is book 2. Sorry, I struggled through that. It's been a minute since we filmed.
Yeah,
and I've had to talk out loud.
Yeah. So my current read, I'm reading it on my Kindle right now because I don't have the physical copy, but it is Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. Last week I binged the first 2, so now I'm on the 3rd one following Joey and Afy's story. So I'm going to read the summary. He's a boy made of fire, and he's about to meet his match. The second son in a broken marriage, Joey Lynch has spent a lifetime picking up the pieces of an unraveling family. When his older brother skips town, 12-year-old Joey finds himself thrown into the role of protector to his mother and younger siblings, plagued by self-loathing and furious with the world. Soon he finds himself teetering precariously close to a life of addiction that threatens to swallow him whole. The only light in his dark seas is Afy, his boss's firecracker daughter, his classmate, and soon something far more complicated. Afy Malloy has always moved forward, not backward. Bubbly, strong, and self-assured, she's never feared being led astray even by her own heart. That is until her first day of secondary school, when she collides with a hot-headed boy who sparks a burning curiosity inside of her that only grows stronger by the day. But their friendship is tangled and complex, full of unwinding secrets and feelings simmering beneath the surface. Afy wants to let Joey in. Joey desperately fights to keep Afy out. But even if it takes years, what's between them is bound to combust, and their hearts will never be the same.
Sorry.
So that's what I'm reading. I'm loving the series so far. You can go check out my channel, Read with Bugs. I've had reading vlogs that have included Binding 13 and Keeping 13, which are the first books in the series. So, and I think I might include Redeeming 6 in another vlog in February. So, because I think Redeeming 6 is red, which you guys have no clue what I'm talking about, so I'm just going to stop talking. Because I'm doing... So now we're going to be talking about our book of the month, which is Bottom of the Pyramid by Nia Sue. Bottom of the Pyramid was written by Nia Sue, who was one of the cast members of Dance Moms, and it basically just shares her story and her experience on Dance Moms and life afterwards. So Philip's going to read her actual summary.
Oh, sorry.
He's not logged.
Okay, so for the summary, young dancer Nia Sue was only 9 years old when she stepped into stardom as one of the original cast members of Lifetime's reality TV show Dance Moms. Nia learned new choreography week after week and competed against dancers from across the country, as well as at her own studio. Perhaps her greatest obstacle was suffering through her dance teacher's rankings of the girls against each other in her infamous pyramid, where Nia spent the majority of her time on the bottom, all in front of an audience of millions, but there was much that viewers didn't see. How her experiences in the studio went far beyond what made it to the show. How she was ostracized for not fitting into an aesthetic that wasn't designed for girls like her. For how her friendships and mental health crumbled under the strain of the show, and how she lost control of her story and her voice. But don't be fooled, this is a story about resilience. Nia is not only looking for pity, sympathy, or validation as she reflects on her experiences. Instead, she is choosing to use her story as a celebration of triumph. Nia finally gets to tell her story in her own way and in her own words. In this captivating memoir, Nia reclaims both the spotlight and her narrative. In addition to going behind the scenes of the 7 seasons of Dance Mom, she knows how she fought against the negative perceptions that dominated her tween and teen years and emerged as a confident young woman secure in her talents and her direction. Anyone who has ever felt misunderstood, overlooked, or stuck at the bottom of the pyramid will be inspired by Nia's story of overcoming. Quote, despite barriers and constant naysayers, assumptions and criticisms, only you know who you are inside and out, Nia says. Quote, and you have the power to create your own narrative and your own level of success. So now we're going to be moving into our personal connections to the book. So why we were most excited to read it and what stuck out in the previews and stuff that we were excited to see.
So I started watching Dance Moms when it first started airing in 2011. I was 5. But as somebody who danced, I loved the show somewhat because it was kind of like relatable in some aspects because I was a dancer. So, well, I do still dance. But, so that's kind of like why I started watching it. I also felt like close to home because we live in Maryland and then the show's based in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. So those are pretty close. You know, we border each other. So it's...
Sorry.
So it's like, you know, it felt close to home. Something on the East Coast, because a lot of the popular dance studios and stuff were either on the West Coast or in Canada. So it felt nice seeing a studio closer to home that was getting some attention, even if it wasn't all positive. But we'll get there. This show was definitely one of the first shows I was hooked on. I watched it. I don't even know how many times I've seen Dance Moms. I know the quotes. I've seen it so many times. So I was definitely interested to hear some of the background of it, because as I got older, people obviously started coming out with their stories and stuff that happened while filming and all that. So I was definitely excited to learn more about somebody who was there literally the whole length of the show. So I'm so excited to read about that. And just to learn about, obviously, as the seasons went on, you can see how Abby's race. Oopsies. Okay. As the seasons went on, you could obviously kind of see Abby's racism showcase a little bit more. Not obviously, which is bad, but she shouldn't have been racist in the first place. So I'm just interested to hear about it from Nia's perspective, considering she was on the team the whole time, and she got to experience Abby through multiple stages because she was with her since she was little, all the way till she was a teenager. So that's a lot of development stages that Abby was around for when it came to her. So I'm excited to see how that impacted her, because I'm sure it did, because it would impact anybody. I just looked out and all I see is stop eating, that's why you're fat. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, because again, I've watched Dance Moms a lot of times. I've seen it since I was little all the way up till high school. So I'm excited to learn more about that. Philip, what about you?
So for me personally, I started on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, which is, for those that don't know, it's they gave her a show, I think it was after the first or second season of Dance Moms. They gave her a bunch of follow-up shows like Abby Studio Rescue and Ultimate Dance Competition. So basically, she recruits dancers from across America, and they compete to dance, and the winner is gets a Joffrey, those scholarship to the Joffrey School. So I started there on season 2. I didn't watch season 1 because I watched season 2 because Kalani and JoJo were on future seasons of Dance Moms, so I wanted to see why they kept referencing it. And then I went from that show to then actually watching Dance Moms, because my YouTube algorithm was like, oh, you like Abby the Miller, so let's just put you on the next set of shows. So I started watching that, and I think, first of all, I'm just a reality TV fiend. I'm just always watching reality television. So I was really liking it. So much, in fact, that I can now do most of the group dances, and quote everything word for word. But I think when it comes to them telling their stories, I feel like Nia's was the first one that I was really excited for, because hers is in a book form. It's not like a TikTok or get ready with me while I tell you about my I get ready for a ballet dance I'm nervous for because I haven't danced in 10 years. It's not like that. It's an actual story. And I love a memoir, as we're all aware, but I feel like Nia's I'm more excited for, because especially with me personally, I mean, I'm not 100% black, so I can't say that, but I am mixed, so to a certain extent I understand of being typecast around certain groups of people. So Nia felt more like herself in when she was with Todrick, who was is he a singer? Yeah. Todrick Hall, who's a singer.
Performer.
Yeah, Laquifa, who's also a performer.
Yeah.
Who else? Coco Jones, who she did a song with. When she was around those people, you could really see her, at least in the show, blossom, and she was happy, genuinely happy to be there. Whereas when she was with Abby and the girls, where there's not a lot of people for her to fall onto or relate to, her hair being the one in one of the episodes where Abby's
she had the braids.
Sorry, I was thinking about the quote. I was thinking about Dr. Holly's infamous quote. But I know that, like, while she has, like, certain ethnic qualities that she can't change, she's the only one that can relate.
Yeah.
Because, like, everyone else on the show, like, they're, like, blonde, straight hair. They don't really have a lot of, like... Ooh, I was going to say that they don't have a lot of character. But, like, they're all, like, the kind of, like, the same plain Jane, kind of. Whereas Nia had her hair, her look. And I remember Abby criticized something. That wasn't her hair. I forgot what it was, though. But I'm interested to see, like, how that affected her in the book. Because in the show, it's not really shown.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, like, in general, like, with all the girls, it's not shown.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the book, it's giving them, especially Chloe's part in the book.
Yeah.
I feel like that part I'm also excited for, because she's also going to have a moment to talk about, to, like, justify what Nia's saying is, because basically what Forward is true and reliable.
Yeah.
Or credible, I mean. But I'm excited to read the book.
I'm an American citizen, so I get to say whatever I want and believe whatever I want. I stand on my credentials and my knowledge. That's something you can never take away.
Then fix this hair.
It's horrible.
Your body.
No, what takes me out is laughing.
Yes.
It's
What to not care?
It's the way they're all. It's the way she's smiling. Chloe and Maddie are trying not to laugh, and Brooke just can't control it. Like, and then watch the, like, state of shock.
They do Ollie ate. They do she ate.
So as mentioned earlier, each month we're gonna have a theme, and the book and the month is gonna reflect that theme. This month's theme, since we're reading Nia Sue's Bottom of the Pyramid, is the harms of reality television.
So for this, we will be focusing on the harms of Let me rephrase that. So as Philip said, we're focusing on the harms of reality television, ranging from the harm to the people themselves in the show, all the way to the consumers of the show, such as Philip and I. It's easy to watch reality shows and forget that these are real people and not characters. For example, just before we started filming, Philip was Googling, like, the Dance Moms cast, and they popped up as characters and not, cast or people. So it's like, it's easy to forget. So we're trying to...
You can't say that.
Oh, what?
You just said it's easy to... Oh, wait, never mind. I like...
I'm about to say how we're going to shed light on forgetting.
Okay.
But anyway. So we hope to shed some light on this to remind... I actually scrolled down. We hope to shed some light on this to remind others not to judge people as much, because obviously when it's a show. They could be portrayed differently than how they actually are in real life. So just remember, when watching a show, like, it's all edited and they're behind a camera for 10 hours a day or something. So obviously that kind of, it's like if somebody started recording me after an 8-hour shift. You're probably not going to like me. I mean, I don't know what to say. But, like, you just have to remember that. Also, consumers... What did I say? Okay. Also, it's really easy to get connected to these people after seeing them for, a couple years or something like that on your screen. You start to think that you truly know them and know how they act and all of that. But again, it is a show, not how they act in, everyday life. So you also have to remember that it is a show. You do not know how these people act on a daily. So they're not your best friends, with all love. With all love. With that being said, we will not only shed light on Dance Moms, but also other reality shows that we're connected to, such as Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Dancing with the Stars, Love Island, and any other show that we think of in the moment. Although reality television is very entertaining, we have to remember these are people's lives being broadcasted for us to watch. Which, if somebody watched my life all the time, we're just going to end it there. Welcome to our segment, Off Topic with the Hot Topics.
Sorry. Each episode, we're going to talk about a controversial topic related to each week's theme.
It's always good to bring a little bit of spice to our episode with our crazy takes.
So everyone get your opinions ready and let's go
Off topic. So I'm going to introduce Off Topic with the hot topics really quick just because this is a new segment. So basically we're just going to have a question of the day that is somewhat related to our theme so that it's not too out there, but that gives a different take and something that's just not as serious, I guess you can say, to the theme. So just so we can like have some fun opinions thrown out there. All of these are our opinions, so don't get offended about everything. If you want to comment your opinions as well, make sure you do that below. But it's just a fun little segment to have a fun question and our opinions. So, for this episode, our question: who else in Dance Moms would you want to write a book on their experience?
So, for me personally, the people, I do have two. Like, and it's not a either or, like, both these people need books. For one is one of the Dance Moms who was in seasons, I believe, 1 through 4, and came back in season 7. Christy Lucasiak, whose daughter is Chloe on the show, and whose daughter wrote the Forward in Mia's book. I want her to release a book so bad. One, because it doesn't seem out of the blue for her.
Yeah.
Because she's like a hustler. Like, she has all these side gigs and jobs that no one knows about. Like a podcast, a YouTube channel, TikTok.
Yeah.
What else has she done? She like judged some sort of like competition show. So she's like her writing a book wouldn't be out of the blue for her. And also she reads, so it's not like far fetched. But I wanted to see her write a I hit the mic. I want to see her write a book because I listened to their podcast Back to the Bar, and they were talking about in season 4 when they brought in the new junior elite competition team to go against Abby's original team. When they brought those people in, Christy had gone through a miscarriage, and I remember her saying on the podcast that she asked to take time off, because obviously when you go through something like that, you want to take time off. And they told her, yes, as long as you're going to let us film you and everything you do outside of the Pittsburgh studio. To which she said no, because why would you want to share that?
Right.
Because that's her personal life. So she stayed on the show, and now it's hard to watch that. Okay, well, Nia's book kind of cut that out, but like kind of ruined the whole damn thing. But hearing that in the podcast, it kind of ruined at least season 4, because I can't watch that back knowing that was happening to her.
Yeah.
And she just was playing it off as if nothing, and like everyone had to play it off as if nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I do want to write a book because she also does like a lot of other stuff. Like she had that drinking and driving scandal thing.
Oh yeah.
She had the scandal with that other guy, producer of some show that we don't even know if it's true or not. That's probably be a rumor. But she has so many other things, especially experiences on the show, that I want to hear her talk about. Another one I want to see have a book, who wasn't a big part of dance. I mean, she was a big part. She was like in the half of a season or so.
Yeah.
Is Ariana? Is Ariana Lopez? She was on season, I want to say 6. With the new mini team, which was just like Liliana and Eliana, her, and a few other girls that were like tiny, so means. I want to see her write a book because the week that the Zeglers, however you say, I don't care. The week that the Zeglers leave, Abby gives Ariana a dance called My Brother, or To My Brother, or something like that. It's dedicated to her brother, and Ariana's mom. Hold on, I gotta pull the name. And Ariana's mom, Sari, sorry if I say that wrong. She talks about her son's conditions and how he has severe cerebral palsy due to a noxious brain injury at 3 weeks old. And I feel like, well, like, yes, you would want to hear it from the parent's perspective, and like what like the parent or like what Sari went through. I feel like hearing it through Ariana's perspective would not like benefit me more, but like would be more powerful.
Yeah.
Because obviously her parents, because he's the older sibling, so So the parents went through this for a while, and then they had her.
Yeah.
Whereas she grew up with having to take care of someone and all that. And also just, I'm really not trying to sound insensitive, but I'm really not trying to sound insensitive when I say that, but I want to know, like, what it's like to manage being in LA in filming a show with your mom while your brother's, I don't know what state they're from, but in another state with 24-hour care.
Yeah.
And how that might affect your childhood, and how you might have, because especially with me, with taking care of my grandpa and all that, like, I had to grow up quickly to help take care.
Mm.
So I feel like hearing another story like that would be beneficial for me personally. Yeah. But I don't mean that in, like, a sensitive topic or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was long. Chloe, would you like to share who you think?
See, mine are so terrible now. Like, one of the people that I think I would love to hear their story is Paige, because first of all, Brooke was like, probably Paige or Brooke, honestly, now that I think about it, because Brooke was one of Abby's star students before the show started, like right before the show started. So I feel like it'd be interesting to kind of hear her perspective on the change and, like, development of the dislike happening over time. Look, I knew you were about to, like, because I saw you typing and looking over. Anyway, because, saw the dislike over the time, like, with Brooke. And then same with Paige. I feel like Abby did have a soft spot for Paige also in the beginning. But again, it just, like, hardened over the time. So I'm just curious to see how that transition kind of occurred, because I mean, we saw aspects of it from the show, but more like the behind the scenes and, like, the feelings behind it, because I can imagine someone going from, someone you trust and go to for stuff, and then turning it around and it being the complete opposite where you're full on scared of them. That change is just... that changed.
This is a problem. I'm thinking about quotes in my head.
But the change just seems hard to manage. So I feel like it'd be interesting to read about it. Then also, I would say Bryn, because I feel like she came in, before Dance Moms was one of, like, the top dancers in the nation. She was already kind of known, at least in the dance world, obviously not in the, Dance Moms / show world, but in the regular dance world, she was known. So I feel like going from being known as this great dancer and everything in, like, the dance competition world to going to Dance Moms and being like, you're worse than Maddie, you have no emotion, all she could do is put her leg up. Like, I feel like getting hated on like that after, being one of the best would, I don't know, I feel like that could really, like, mess you up. And I feel like on the show you could see she was mentally breaking down. So I just love to hear about her, like, how she went through that and everything like that. And then her parents were getting divorced and, like, dealing with the custody issues, even though they didn't really fully talk about it on the show. It was mentioned in one of the episodes, I think in, like, season 7. So I feel like it'd be interesting to hear about that as well. So for next week's episode, we're going to be discussing Dance Moms as a whole, the show, our opinions, favorite moments, least favorite moments, impact, all of those things. So make sure you guys tune in next Friday for that episode. It's going to be a good one.
So that's a wrap for today's episode of The Notable Reader.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us and talking about these amazing books.
Be sure to subscribe and send us your suggestions. We want to hear what you're reading.
Next time, we'll be back with more Dance Moms content. Until next time, keep reading.